Welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. Some changes have taken place in my garden this week. Last Saturday morning, I was having a slower morning inside than usual, and at 9 a.m. I looked out the window and saw cockatoos in my vegetable patch. I knew straight away they had been cutting up my plants. This has happened before and I've been absolutely devastated. I've even cried before because when they get in the garden, they just pull things apart, and that time they had destroyed most of my newly planted seedlings. As upsetting as it can be, there are some lessons to take from this. I usually have a little break, make a cup of tea, go for a walk, have a bit of a break from the garden when finding something so disappointing. And then I pick myself up and get straight back into my garden and move forward. And this is a lesson in trying again, in never giving up. And in gardening, we do come across this lesson a lot. We do have failures and we just have to try and try again. I do prefer the look of my garden without all the nets and covers over my rows, but in this country, with the cockatoos being as destructive as they are, I feel the need to protect my vegetables. Perhaps I should always be covering my rows with cloth. Perhaps I should protect before and not after the fact. The truth is, I might make this mistake again, but I'm going to try and make netting part of my process in my garden. Usually the cockatoos stop coming in summer, so maybe I can uncover my beds then and have a sea of green again. But I do need to remember that they start coming back in autumn when the sunflowers are in seed. So at that time, I may need to cover again. So I did not break down in tears this time. I went around the garden and kept finding more and more damaged plants, but there are still plenty of plants in my garden. So I got to work putting in hoops to put netting and frost cloth over the rows. I still need to weed some parts of my garden, but putting these in place before it happens again was more important than weeding. So for the hoops, I've been using some leftovers of the Rio. So we've got some 4-pronged crosses that I put into the soil, and then we've been using some old pipe that we did have on the farm. We were using it on the farm, but we decided to go for a larger diameter of pipe. So this pipe was available to use. And I will need to find some more because I do not have enough hoops for every single row of my garden. So I will be making some more soon, and I will show you what the gardens look like when I've got all of the hoops on. But in the meantime, I have at least some of my very precious seedlings covered, which I'm very grateful for. And I have not yet seen the cockatoos come back, so knock on wood that they don't come back while most of my garden is still uncovered. We have put our first seeds of summer vegetables in trays, and I'll be back next week to fill you in with what we're planting this month. In the meantime, I'll continue weeding and degrassing my patches. I'm optimistic that my garden will be ready for all the spring planting. Thanks again for watching, friends, and I'll see you again soon. I hope you enjoy being in your garden this weekend and that the birds are leaving your plants alone. And if you have any tips on how to keep birds away, please let me know in the comments below. See you next time.